It's your boy, Mr. Israelite, and I'm here to tell all the people that it's real life in these streets. All right, I'm easing it up. I was going in on Ye for a minute. I'm gonna take a turn, man. I'm gonna watch some little mystery stories, man, and get my take on these things. What we watching is creepy Target horror stories. That's the life we live in today. Creepy Target horror stories, man. Get with it. Get with the program. All right, man. About to start off, man. I'm gonna give my bold critique and see where it go from here, man. Hopefully we can lighten up the mood a little bit from the last couple of videos.
Many years ago. At the time, they were still open 24/7, so I took the overnight shift as a stalker. I was a night owl in college, so that fit into my schedule the best. As much as Target gets rightfully criticized for being a terrible employer, I actually think it was a decent job for where I was in life. It's common knowledge how strange some of the people that come into the store are, but things are way worse in the middle of the night. Thankfully, I didn't have to interact with most of them, but there were occasions when I was hit on or harassed by crazy people. It didn't usually get that bad, but there was this one guy. He gave me the creeps. He was one of the main reasons I ended up quitting before I was finished with college. He came into the store on a freezing cold night in December, long after the hours when the store was still full of customers, when there was barely anyone there except for a few employees. I was crouched down stocking boxes of pasta when I noticed a man walk past the entrance to the aisle. A moment later, he reappeared at the end of the shelves, but he didn't walk into it just then.
Neff looked like Edward Scissorhands. I ain't gonna lie to you. He looking a little Scissors handsies. You gotta watch this, man.
I could see it out of the corner of my eye, but I tried to ignore him. He lingered long enough.
And them eyes is wild. I can't get past them eyes. You know, a lot of these joints. First off, he look a little Michael Jackson corpsey too. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm trying to look at him. That black hair, this animation dude know what he doing.
Stared at me instead.
He got the dude looking
I could see it out.
His eyes is popping out his
The corner
I
of
don't
my
know
eye.
what he's on, but he's on some sort of...
But I tried to ignore him. He lingered long enough for me to get a read on him from just a few glances. He was disheveled and dirty, not carrying anything, and a stench of stale feces and urine was already wafting over from him. Eventually, he started walking toward me.
Dang.
Once he was about 5 feet away, he stopped and stared down at me again. By then, the odor of his filth was overpowering. After a few unbearable seconds of silence, he finally opened his mouth and asked where he could find popcorn. I pointed it out to him and he walked away. But I noticed something weird as I watched him go out of the aisle. He had a strange limp as he walked, almost a waddle. Then, he reached back and scratched his crack, seemingly adjusting something inside his pants.
Oh, no. Listen, I ain't gonna lie.
Just before he walked out of sight,
okay.
I confirmed there had to be
keep
something inside his pants. Whatever it was big, and it was sandwiched between his cheeks by his waistband. I didn't want to imagine what it could be, but I came up with a
Oh no. Not nephew sticking stuff in his cheeks. Come on, my dog. Listen. If it's first off, why they got niece view on there busty? What part of the story when she mailed this in to you let you know that she was busty? Racked up. And then dude back to dude. Um, First off, I was gonna initially say, listen, if dude limping like that, we not worried about him. Off strength. May seem you kick him in the nuts, man. And if he's still playing games, you chin check him. Pow! And you get up out of there and you scream loud as you can. You in the store, it's well lit in there. And then lastly, yeah, he digging in his butt, you know, he got a lot going on here. He's thinking, he wanna know what some popcorn is. Neff got the munchies. Nieceview over here looking clueless. I'm gonna let this keep playing out, but you gotta keep the mace on you, baby girl. I'm not gonna lie to you. Where your boyfriend at? He ain't give you no taser. He ain't give you no mace. You clearly single. You work in the night shift at Target. And, you know,
came up with a few possibilities before I successfully pushed it out of my mind.
Not the smoke bomb. Wow.
None of them were good.
Is a possibility. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to tell you. He's sticking stuff in his booty? Not the cheeks. For weeks?
Thankfully, a few minutes later, I had already forgotten about it. I got back into...
Look at her. Oh! A smoke bomb.
None of them were good. Thankfully, a few minutes later, I had already forgotten about it. I got back into my stocking flow and wasn't thinking about anything in particular. Just passively longing for the day when I could get out of this menial job and do something more interesting for a living. I was snapped out of my trance by the reappearance of the putrid man. Once again, he stood at the end of the aisle and stared. This time, there was a slight smile on his face. He returned without any popcorn. I knew that out of everything in the store, the only thing he was interested in was me.
Not the teeth.
He approached me again, stepping a bit closer than the previous encounter. The rank.
Look at him. He doing a little Michael Jackson.
He approached me again, stepping a bit closer than the previous encounter. The rank stench almost made me gag. I didn't want to look at him or even be around him, but he kept talking to me, trying to flirt. He said he couldn't help but come up and tell me how sexy I was, to which I replied with a simple thanks and a fake smile. He pressed me for information about where I lived, how old I was, if I had a boyfriend, all the typical stuff creeps feel entitled to ask about. I gave fake answers to everything, trying to give him every reason in the world to stop talking to me, but none of it worked. Eventually, he asked for my number, saying we should get together and make a baby with my beautiful genes. I declined outright at first, but after he asked me multiple times and made it clear that he wouldn't take no for an answer, I finally copped out and gave him a fake number. He walked away with a big grin on his face, as if he thought he had actually chatted me up and had a chance of getting in my pants behind whatever dumpster he lived behind. Once again, I noticed that weird limp and the impression of something big in his pants as he walked away, but I was no closer.
Girl, he probably about to
figuring out what it was.
nephew.
After I finished unloading the cart, I took it to the back end of the store to get a full one. I needed a break after that guy, so I purposely stalled around by the door. Nobody was around to catch me slacking off. I figured I could stand there for about 5 whole minutes without anyone bothering me. Right as I was about to finally leave, the man busted through the door, screaming in my face and threatening.
I lightweight got scared.
Right as I was about to finally leave, the man busted through the door, screaming in my face and threatening to kill me for giving him a fake number. I jumped back in shock, hiding behind the boxes on the cart. The rotting creep asked me if I wanted to know what he did to people that lied to him. I didn't know what that meant, so of course I said no and asked him to calm down, but it had no effect. Then, right in front of my eyes, to my horror, he reached back and stuck his hand down his pants, about to grab something and take it out.
Oh no! Oh no! Listen, it's about this time. It's time to plead the blood of Jesus against nephew. Nieceview, you definitely should have ran around. He limping. He digging in his behind. I don't know. The way he reading the story makes me think, I don't know what he reaching for, man. And this is disturbing. And this not the type of show I'm trying to be a part of. So I might end it early. It's getting a little too much for me.
I screamed and sprinted out the door. He tried to grab me as I passed him, but I escaped with just a scratch from his filthy finger. I ran out of the store and into my car.
Oh no, you might
He was
get
much
a bump
slower
up.
than me and couldn't catch up. But as I pulled out of the parking lot, I looked back and saw him standing in front of the store,
Why you gotta go
holding something I couldn't make out. I drove off and called the night manager to tell him what was happening. It took him a minute to understand why I wasn't coming back for the night, but he did call the cops to find the man.
You over there playing game like, what's security? It's overnight.
Manager to tell him what was happening. It took him a minute to understand why I wasn't coming back for the night, but he did call the cops to find the man.
Let me rewind it. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh no.
I screamed and sprinted out the door.
Oh.
He tried to grab me as I passed him, but I escaped with just a scratch from his filthy fingernail. I ran out of the store and into my car. He was much slower than me and couldn't catch up, but as I pulled out of the parking lot, I looked back and saw him standing in front of the store, holding something I couldn't make out. I drove off and called the night manager to tell him what was happening. It took him a minute to understand why I wasn't coming back for the night, but he did call the cops to find the man. However, he wasn't there by the time they arrived. That scratch on my arm ended up getting infected badly and needed antibiotics. That just goes to show how disgusting you are.
I knew it. Yo, but you was in the Target with the managers, everybody. You were supposed to run to the pharmacy and grab the peroxide. Grab the peroxide, man. And lightweight, some gauze for the free. Off strength security not around. And you're supposed to run, you don't know security be.
That just goes to show how disgusting he was. Yet, to this day, I still don't know what he was about to pull out of his pants, or whatever horrible experience I managed to escape from.
You know
I can
what?
only imagine the worst.
Stop lying. This is crazy. All right. So yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm doing the wrong. No way. No way. I'll be back.
Oh,